There is a lot of amazing cycling tech out there. We've even got a whole channel completely dedicated to it. But in this video, we're going to have a look at some of the technology from outside of the world of cycling that could completely revolutionize our sport. 3D printing has obviously been around for a while now, and although we've already seen some amazing stuff from brands like Bastien, or even the custom time trial parts used by teams like Sky, it's safe to say that we've only touched on the surface of what 3D printing could one day do. For the main area that 3D printing could change cycling is in frame production. We've already seen a few 3D printed frames, and it seems like it's only a matter of time before we have commercially viable 3D printed frames in production. We could see full carbon frames being made in just hours, allowing brands to produce in much higher quantities. This in turn could lead to lower frame costs, as brands would need much smaller factories and would effectively eliminate waste from frame production. And finally, it could see the end of frame set geometries. Every frame produced by a 3D printer could be made to the specifications of the customer, as there would no longer be any need for expensive molds. Big data and artificial intelligence almost seem like technology buzzwords these days. They seem to crop up all over the place really, but I think they could actually help improve cycling in a few major ways. The first is through urban planning and cycle route choice. It can be really hard to explain why we choose to cycle certain routes, or why you ride on the road instead of the cycle lane for part of your commute, for example. But if we could get enough data on all the routes all cyclists take through a city, we could start to make some very accurate predictions on why certain people use certain routes. A company called Umotional has actually used this with some very complex algorithms to create what they believe to be the first artificial intelligence-based route planning app. The app can apparently tailor which routes it suggests depending on your personal cycling preferences, or even depending on things like the weather. In quite a similar way, conceivably, a piece of software could collect all of your training data and tell you exactly what type of training you should be doing to improve the most. This method could really effectively remove the guesswork from training. You'd never overtrain, never ride junk miles, and you'd just get way, way stronger. We just need to work out how to invent it first. One of the big trends in technology at the moment is wearable health tech. I know what you're thinking, smartwatches, heart rate monitors, we've got all of that stuff and it's nothing new. But I'm looking right at the cutting edge here. So let's start by looking at continuous glucose monitors. These basically stick to your body to, well, continuously monitor your glucose levels. Obviously, these are aimed at diabetes sufferers, but it's easy to imagine these being used in the future by cyclists. I mean, you could ensure that you never ran out of energy, I suppose. And then how about a sensor that can manage your blood lactate when you're riding? This could allow you to perform super accurate threshold tests without the need for going into a lab. A company called BSX Insight actually already make a wearable blood lactate sensor in a calf sleeve. This technology is obviously in its early stages, and the actual monitors are only going to get smaller and smaller. This next bit of tech is something that John featured over on the GCN Tech Show recently. A team at the UCLA Samueli School of Engineering have managed to weld a type of aluminium that was previously believed to have been unweldable. 7075 aluminium is significantly stronger than the 6061 alloy that has traditionally been used in the production of bicycle frames, but it would always crack when welded due to something known as phase segregation. The team at UCLA discovered that by introducing titanium carbide nanoparticles into the weld, they could stop the cracks. That is all very cool, but what does it mean for us as cyclists? Well, bikes made with the 7075 aluminium could be made much lighter than traditional 6061 aluminium bikes, effectively eliminating the main problem with aluminium race bikes. Could this mean that we see the return of aluminium bikes to the World Tour? Personally, I think these bikes could be the ultimate amateur race bike, something that performs as well as a carbon bike, but you can crash as much as you want without having to worry about it really breaking. Indoor training really has come on leaps and bounds in the last few years. It feels like only yesterday that direct drive trainers were invented, and now it's actually getting difficult to get a turbo that isn't direct drive. And then you've got to talk about probably the biggest change in turbo training, the invention of apps like Zwift and the Sufferfest. They actually managed to make turbo training interesting. But I think there is one way technology could make indoor training even better, and that is by using VR. Imagine riding on Zwift and actually being able to look around the bunch and really get the feeling that you're actually riding in Watopia. Obviously though, VR technology does have to move on a long way before you can use it on a turbo. Just imagine how sweaty you get with one of those headsets on for a start. but surely it's only a matter of time. I would love to know what tech you think could change the future of cycling. Make sure you leave a comment in the description box down below, and feel free to be as out there with it as you want. I want to see some properly crazy ideas. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, and to see another video on tech, give a click down there.